Hello, this is Satsat 47, a project for Anything AI. We worked for the web development part of Anything AI. The project was started on 25 August 2016 and the team members were Ayush Jain, Harshit Patni, Vegula Shrikavya, Vaishnavi Reddy Kancharla and Suma Reddy. Our objective was to build a website along with a user forum to facilitate the discussion and the interaction among users, developers, and the company Anything AI. According to our initial project plan, we were supposed to complete the basic layout, structuring, and documentation till the R1, and then in the R2, we were supposed to take on some few challenging tasks like the user forum and giving the website final touch. Now coming to the software requirement specification. As I said, till R1 we created the basic front end part for the website and implemented some backend also. But this wasn't integrated front end and backend. So in R2, the first thing we did was integrating front end and backend. Then we took on the challenging task of creating a user forum, which took most of our time. We were successful in creating the forum. We have created all the basic functionalities like login, sign up, and test file upload for various apps. A backend has been implemented using Django REST framework, which provides endpoints for front end to plug and play directly, and in future, Android or iOS apps can be developed over this backend. Our front end written using React.js, Redux, and ES6. The basic approach is building user interface differently, thus by breaking them into components, thus enables easy use and maintenance of various UI elements. On the home page, we have basic information related to company, and we also showcase our latest APIs for all the users. Forum we have created for Anything AI. This forum will be used for communication between developers. It's a fairly simple React front end using Bootstrap powered by Meteor backend. Here I am already logged in as a user Harshit. Now if I can log out here and then I can have option of signing in, or else if I am a new user then I can register also. I already have a password and username, so I will log in here. Now as I am logged in, I can see all the posts which have been made earlier. I can open them, I can comment on them as I have commented before. I can again comment here. I can also like this post and it will increase the count from 1 to 2. Now as a user I can start a new post also. I can choose where to post this and then I can submit it. As you can see, the post has been created. Since I have created this post, I can even edit this again. I can like the post. I can subscribe to the newsletter which is provided by the forum. All those users who have clicked on the subscribe button are sent weekly updates about the forum. There is also one search functionality that let me search. Let's say we want to search the term update. So here it is showing the results, search results. There is also, we can also order the post of forum and the way we want to see it. Like I can see daily post, what I have posted on Friday, November 25th is being shown here, or I can view them as the newest. Now I will log out from here and log in as admin. Admin is basically another user with some additional rights. As you can see, I can see here the post made by Harshit, which was another user. As admin, I have edit rights for all the posts irrespective of the user who have created. I can edit their posts, mark them as reject or spam or pending. Now I can also create different categories in the forum, which will be used for the classification of various posts. Uploading files which are only a few hundred kilobytes in one go is all fine and good on standard connection. But what of mobile uploading or big files in excess of several gigabytes? As upload duration increases, so too does the possibility of failure. In case of a failed upload, the user has no choice but to restart the upload from the very first byte. Not only does this cause aggravation for your users, but it also wastes resources on your upload machines. Chunk uploading, by contrast, allows us to break a large file into small chunks and send these pieces to upload server one by one. If an upload fails, we need only resume from the last successful chunk. Thus, to tackle this problem, we have used chunk upload in our project also. How does chunk upload work? In a nutshell, an upload of a big file will happen as parts to a directory under that new root. The client creates it through the new root. This initiates a new upload. If the directory could be created successfully, the client starts to upload chunks of the original file into that directory. The sequence of chunks is set by the name of the chunk file created in the directory. Once all chunks are uploaded, the client submits a move request that renames the chunk upload directory to the target file. Each chunk is sent as a separate request, and each chunk request should be acknowledged just as you would for non-chunk requests. The response to each chunk upload request is checked to determine success. If server responds with a failure response, the uploader will attempt to retry, sending the file starting with the last failed chunk.
This is the API ILMT that we have implemented for the Anything AI system. It is supposed to be a translation system for Hindi to Punjabi and vice versa. As we can see that there is a connection error with the endpoint right now because api.ilmt.replyt.ac.in is not working currently, as I think there are some server issues, but otherwise they were all working perfectly fine. So but I can give a quick tour about what each of these endpoints were supposed to do. The first first API endpoint, API/ILMT/language pairs, is supposed to give us an output of all the language pairs translations of language pairs of translations that is possible. So the actual output would be Hindi to Punjabi and Punjabi to Hindi. And the next URL, ILMT/Hindi/Punjabi, is supposed to be is supposed to give an output of the number of modules that have been used, and that is 23. the API PAN to Hindi modules, it gives us in detailed information about how the conversion from Hindi to Punjabi is happening, and the values, intermediate values of each and everything. And this is the final page for conversion of Hindi to Punjabi. Now if I give a sentence as an input, which is in Hindi, the output should be actually in Punjabi, but because of the server issues it is not working. As you can see, it gives us an error in return. So this was about ILMT. Sorry, as the last time I forgot to change the media type to XWW form unlen coded. So now on changing it, we get an error which says the following, and we are redirected to the same page. And this is about ILMTR.